How's it going, everyone? It is Liam Catterson here, and we're reacting to another episode of iZombie as we're on episode 3 of Season 3. And it's been nearly 2 months since I last watched iZombie. Not because I was falling out with it or anything like that. It was because of the fact that I was doing so much of Stranger Things, as well as the fact that I was going away to a couple of places, and I didn't want to burn myself out. But speaking of burnout, not in that way. It is currently hot here, so I know it's a rubbish way to segue, I guess, from that, but yeah, July, heat wave, UK weather, all well and good, so, yes, last time, quite sad stuff, especially with Wally, and we were focusing a bit on Clive in the last episode, which I really loved. That aspect. It was very, very tragic, especially towards the end, finding out why Wally and his family were exactly murdered. But it was a really good focus on Clive. And there was, of course, a bit of, I guess, comedy to the side with Liv and Major. Quite an interesting dynamic, I will say. So, yeah, but I'm excited to get back into this and see what this episode has in store. So with that said, let's get into episode 3 of iZombie Season 3. Let's go. Oh! In the eye as well.
Nice stuff.
Lilla White, there is one thing men under my command cannot do. What is that one thing?
Survive a bullet to the head, sir.
Black Squad hit the showers.
Easier said
White
than
Squad.
done.
Oh, we are not playing the murder everyone game. We're playing my dance game.
Do we lose a bet?
I bring the Chinese food, you play my game. That's the deal.
They don't have any other games, though, do they? Because it is kind of offensive playing a zombie killing game.
Any chance you could come? I wouldn't want to get taken advantage of, you know, especially with the fuzziness.
It went down well
I'll
last
say
time,
you what I say
right?
to all my clients. What's in it for me?
When you hear a noise, just accept it, and then let it drift away. And
What
now
if,
if that
what,
works for noise,
what if it's a
but
squawking
other
bird in your
unwanted
ear?
intrusions-
He's accepting, he's accepting that noise. And the squelching as well. He just Obi-Wan Kenobi
You realize
that.
how perfect everything is. You will tilt your head back.
I hated the detectives who did that when I was in uniform.
Oh, poor Clive. Poor Clive.
You're a good man, Clive Babineau.
You've earned our respect. Oh, boy.
That better be tartar sauce.
Oh!
Ew, for you and the strong stuff for me.
Tea time.
Got it backwards. How do you drink almond milk?
Did he have a sip of... No, he didn't, right? Okay. No, he's had a sip. He had a... Oh, no.
Died with that he regrets. Things he wish he did differently. Forks.
Now Seattle is ground zero for this investigation. I hope it's okay if I use your morgue when I need a lab.
No.
Sure.
Hi, Jacob. I'm heading to my 1:30. I'm on my cell if anything comes up.
Oh, boy.
Surprise.
I've beaten myself up enough on my own. I don't need your help.
She's accepted
And this
who
should
he
be
is.
obvious, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Your opinion in this matter is irrelevant. What did you come here for, Robbie? Did you come here to say you're sorry? Or were you hoping maybe I'd apologize to you?
Is no longer valid, so you just sign that.
Say no more. It's your money, after all. And it's a small price to pay for this family reunion.
Wait. Please tell me you got a trick up your sleeve.
Now, once you get back on your feet, I think we should, well, geez, you tell me. What is it we used to do together? I know.
Yeah, piss off.
Gladly. I've got what's worth having.
You know, hearing that, like, with no... Whoa, that's a smile!
I got your text.
You took a while.
I mean, cosmically, like how none of us are really just here. We're on multiple planes of... I'm going back to my sound bath.
And this is it, Clive is still adjusting to this shit.
20 meters. DJ in the former Graves day-to-day operations. So, here I am, zombie mercenary. There's a learning curve. You'll get there.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no, Major.
Just a heads up, he ordered double brains last week, so he might be on vacation.
He's not here?
No, just a few days extra. A week, max. Not
But
too long.
I don't know if Major has that time.
Patience not your strong suit.
Time is on...
Don't have that long.
Yeah, time is of the essence. It's just typical Major look, really.
To working would assure customers they would never encounter pinball or the word crapper.
How about you suck Incorporated, because that's what you do.
Maybe Whitey Bulgers.
What the fuck is that name?
The only humans in here should be appetizers.
Human memory is more complex than a rat's.
Yeah,
I
it
have no
needs
way
more
to test
testing.
There's never a chimp suffering from dementia around when you really need one.
There is one way.
Blaine.
Wait, Blaine? Are we...
Take the risk. He doesn't trust us.
But he trusts Peyton. I could get her to ask him to hear us out.
That's a big risk.
Operation winds up dead.
Yeah, that sucked. But I'm over it.
7.5.
Our witness said
You
he
know
was tall
that
with dark
Simpsons
hair anyway.
episode
sorry to
where
disappoint.
Krusty was
My motto these days.
framed for
You
murder?
sell the past and buy the future.
Yet both are illusions. Like
I'm
the fool
thinking
used to have
that.
nothing.
So true.
Well, not framed for
The
murder,
newspaper
but
said
framed
Topher
for
got clipped in
attempted
his,
murder.
You mean when your positive energy was obstructed?
That's not a thing.
Clive's not having this!
Give us a second.
It's not a thing. Fuck this noise.
There's no way it's him.
He just admitted these shoes splattered with the victim's blood are his.
And
Did any of them have brains in their digestive systems?
Oh shit, she is closing in on this.
no. No, they didn't.
Shoot. I thought I was onto something. Let's go have dinner. There's something else I want to bounce off you.
What? Wait, what? Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean?
I did see him run down this way.
It wasn't
It was the homeless
man, who ran
man,
down the alley,
wasn't
It was
it?
the suspect.
I watched him from that chair right there. I thought it was strange. Usually they take things out of the dumpster.
Our wino lied? Why?
Because he didn't witness the murder. He committed the murder.
Oh my.
See, he's definitely.
No, by all means, this
He's
is the
definitely
highlight
gonna
of my
be like,
week.
do you have any
This
more
is
of that
Justin,
uncut
my friend
stuff?
from work. Justin, this is Liv.
Hey there.
Hi. Your text freaked me out. Get over here, stat?
Oh, Major. Oh. This is heartbreaking because he's gonna have to forget.
I'm not afraid of dying, Liv. I'm afraid of remembering. Find a guinea pig who wants to remember his old life, huh?
It's a chance
poor
to atone.
Blaine. Yeah.
Atone?
If you won't take the serum, the first person to take that risk will be Major, who, let's be honest, is only a zombie because of you.
That's not who Blaine is anymore.
Open your eyes, Peyton!
Oh, my eyes are wide open. Why are you being such a dick?
It isn't obvious. It's because I'm in love with you.
Yeah, this is his feeling. Oh my god. Oh, this is awkward.
I know.
Oh, I feel so bad for Blaine in a sense, but oh, this is all a big.
As for our establishment's name, I give you the Scratchin' Post.
That sounds like a strip club name.
I'm so sorry. Pride, I'm done with it. Like, it's only been a liability.
Realizing he's kicked himself in the balls, but
that we were back together.
So was I.
You drunk?
Like a little.
I'm not gonna lie, I do feel a bit for Blaine, but I do love these two so much. It's just he's been... Oh.
Oopsie.
The way we left things, I didn't think you...
Don't.
Well, fuck.
And I think I'm gonna love
Wear a hood.
for a long time.
Ooh. I gotta say, Blaine just kills it with the vocals. But there is that sad atmosphere, isn't there? Yeah. Oh, Rav. So close and yet so far. Especially with how she was just on his heels about everything. Yeah. Oh boy. And I do feel like I feel so bad for Blaine as well. It's all a big kerfuffle because I want Ravi and Peyton together. And there was that admission from Ravi. At the same time, there is, with Blaine, this is a new chance, really. And it is like Ravi just wanted him to be pushed into remembering his own life, especially to get him out the way of Peyton, because of his love for Peyton. And, yeah. You're just seeing how much guilt, like everything that Blaine is being told about his past life, it's like it eats into him, really, because it's like, wow, I am a I was a shitty person. Why would anyone be like that? So, big kerfuffle. And then there's Major, who just never has it easy, does he? Like every season, there's always something that happens with Major. And now he is regressing, going through the same shit that Blaine did towards the end of season 2. So now we're gonna see if the old Blaine comes back. Oh boy, all a big kerfuffle, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, this feels like, you know what? Actually, it does feel like Ross and Rachel, doesn't it? With Peyton and Ravi. And the thing is, like, there are both sides. I feel like, with Peyton, like, I feel like there is a understandable way that she feels in regards to her calling out Ravi, and how Blaine, especially in this new persona, she was looked after by him. Ravi does also have a point in regards to the fact that Blaine has been responsible for harming nearly everyone in the group, really. So it's just all a big kerfuffle. So, and Ravi doesn't exactly help by trying to guilt trip Blaine into taking the cure, especially with the fact that Blaine doesn't exactly remember what he has done. I do feel a bit for Blaine. Like, with Blaine, I understand why he doesn't want to remember. He has been told all of these stories about how much of a piece of a shit he was before this. And remembering is just hurting himself, really. He wants this new start. He wants to be a better person. And I think, you know, if I was in his position, if I had amnesia, I was told I was a real piece of shit. I did so much heinous shit. And there is a chance that I could remember that. I wouldn't want that, to be fair, because of the fact that I want to capitalize on this new start. I don't want to undo everything. And yeah, so I did feel so much for Blaine, to be fair. Like, you saw him when he and his dad manipulated him again in this episode. You saw him when he confronted his father, and you know, that was like a kick in the stomach. Your own father is saying this shit, and it's like, well, this hurts. So I do feel for Blaine. But yeah, it is just, you know, a sad situation with Peyton, with Ravi. I feel like there are pointers for both side of things. So yeah, and I like, obviously when we discussed about Blaine potentially taking the injection, there was a lot of animosity. There was a lot of that jealousy and a lot of that anger that Ravi had for Blaine. Especially because there was a variety of factors, from who he used to be and how he's affected everyone, and now Major is on death's door, and that can be chalked down all to Blaine. And the fact that Blaine and Peyton, there is this romance, and Ravi feels like he's in no man's land because, well, until he confessed to Peyton that he loved her. And then, as soon as he does that, Peyton starts to have these feelings. And then, obviously, Ravi shot himself in the foot, in a sense. Not that he was going to know in regards to how Peyton would handle that revelation. Because, to Ravi's knowledge, she's chosen Blaine. So... But yeah, it's I feel like it's all a big kerfuffle between Peyton and Ravi, and I do hope this stuff does get ironed out. But yeah, it's all just a big kerfuffle. So yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, this was a pretty I found it pretty interesting how, like, I think the interesting aspect of, well, there are two sides of the main case that were very interesting for the, I guess, crime. The fact that we didn't have any kind of flashbacks, but I guess that makes sense with how zen you are. There's no worries or whatever. Like, Topher, even when he died, he was just at peace, and then he just got clocked by Mitch, I believe it was, who was the homeless guy. So that was great how he was like, you know, I saw something, and then, yeah. But it was Mitch. Like, that is some kind of methodical thinking, just pretending to be that homeless guy. Perfect disguise, and try to get away with murder just because you were a bit peeved in regards to what happened. So but no, I thought that was pretty interesting elements. Otherwise, I did feel it was pretty standard crime of the week, but I did find other aspects very fascinating. Obviously, you have Angus and Donnie having their new brain supplying. I guess I was gonna use a big word. I'm not gonna use it because I'm going to fluff it up, but they're going to use a business, basically. They're entrepreneuring. So, yeah. I am wondering where that is going to go, especially now that Donnie is working with the father of his previous occupier, and I'm wondering what is going to happen, especially if Blaine does get his memories back. See, I'm not sure where that is going to go. I don't know if Blaine, if the thing doesn't work. And if so, that's bad news for Major, because obviously we found out in this episode that his time is coming to a close, really, before he has to take that injection, really. It's either that or he dies. So, yeah. But we have a situation where he could remember everything. And I'm wondering if he's going to remember. I'm sure he will remember everything that happened during his amnesia state, and I'm wondering if that's going to give him a if that's going to make him turn over a new leaf in terms of reverting to the old Blaine, or it could just not work. And like I said, Blaine with Major, that's a bit of a boo boo. So yeah, but it was very, very heartbreaking with him. Seeing how happy Liv was, and just realizing that it's not looking good unless this works. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but it's just typical Major look, isn't it? So, yeah, but no, I thought that was very interesting, as well as, the situation of him training and, yeah, I'm wondering if him just, I don't know if him, or if it's something to do with him adjusting to the thing, but I'm wondering if him knowing that his time is coming up kind of puts him off in a sense, because it would do for me, especially with something as aggressive as I guess paintballing in the dark. I guess I wouldn't call it laser tag paintballing, but it does have that atmosphere, doesn't it? So yeah, but yeah, major problems once again. So yeah, but yeah, we also had Catty, who obviously Ravi slept with, seemingly, and well, I don't know if he actually slept with her. Ravi was just drunk, but it seems like that was the plan, and seems like she's getting a bit closer to finding out about zombies. She's putting two and two together with the boat party with Max Rager, finding brains in people's systems, and Ravi is trying to shut that train down. She might know it at some point, but we'll just have to find out. She is so close on the money, so we'll see what happens once she does find out. But yeah, that was very, very fun stuff, and then obviously that was setting things up for a complicated ending. So yeah, but I think the big meat of this episode was definitely the discussion on if Blaine should take the injection and see if that would cure his amnesia, because there is a lot of that, like especially with Ravi, and don't get me wrong, I understand where he's coming from, blaming Blaine for everything that's happened. At the same time, I understand why Blaine wouldn't want to remember. He's trying to turn over a new leaf, and not just that though. But what if this is another case of Ravi shooting himself in the foot by having Blaine remember everything? So, but it's also a case of, well, Major said he would have taken the cure and see what would have happened. Because it could have also been a case of, okay, it doesn't work, so the alternative is Major's going to forget. But no, I understand why Blaine didn't want to do it. But there is, of course, that antagonistic vibe that Ravi had, and Peyton, I could understand why she was a bit pissed, especially with Blaine just being thrown in there. There was from Ravi a bit of a forceful push to Blaine taking the injection. But I do feel so bad for Blaine, because remembering what you did, knowing you've had multiple sources saying you were a shitty person, and trying to leave that in the past, it's something you want to do. It hurts hearing about it, and you want to leave that in the past. So to be told, and in a very, very aggressive stance as well. Not just that though, but Ravi saying well, confessing his feelings to Peyton, it just is quite damaging, isn't it? So yeah, and obviously one wouldn't typically root for Blaine, antagonist, of course, but obviously we're talking about a different Blaine, one who doesn't remember, and one who is seemingly trying to make an impressionable impact. Obviously, he is getting a lot of stares from Team Z, from what he has done. But he is honest. I think you could tell that he is trying to make a brand new start. But it is just so difficult with people glaring at you and Ravi just putting you up in the firing line because of your past actions, really. So, and obviously what Blaine did in the past, very shitty. But at the same time, this is not the same Blaine. So, and Ravi does have a bit of that pent-up anger from Blaine and Peyton, as well as the past of Blaine as well. So, like I said, it's very complicated because, and especially with this, Blaine would be doing Major a bit of a favor. But I guess if it failed, then Major would have to take the cure that would make him forget anyways if he wants to continue living. So it is a mess, but we'll find a way, maybe. It depends if Blaine remembers or not. And if he just turned into a douchebag, then I'm sure that's a road we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, should I say. So, yeah, but... Oh, pardon me. Especially with the Ravi Peyton situation. A bit of... Yeah. Oh boy. Definitely reminiscences of Ross and Rachel. But to be fair, I was low-key expecting the... Like, it was funny with the case. I was thinking this is going to be a Simpsons situation. I mentioned this I don't know if this is going to make it into the YouTube version, but I'll just say it anyways, just in case. But I was thinking, you remember that episode where Krusty was framed by Sideshow Bob? And it was his first episode. And I think it was because... Bob's feet were too big, but Krusty's was small, and he curled his feet up, etc. It's going to be like the reverse of that, where you've got normal sized feet, but you've got a size 12 shoe. It's going to be that situation. That was what my mind was racing towards when you were analyzing how big your foot is, etc. So yeah, I'm only an 11. So fun fact about that. But yeah, this was a pretty neat episode. Very awkward, complicated. Yeah, but no, this was a pretty great episode in my opinion. So yeah, but until then, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You could also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!